I'm Jeff Philbin. This is Dinner DeeAs. This week we're celebrating something big, something juicy, something grilled, something stacked, and something absolutely iconic. Our Big Burger Week starts now. It's Burger Week on Dinner DeeAs. All week long, I'll be sharing a brand new burger recipe every single day. We're talking seafood burgers, plant-based twists, regional favorites, and maybe even a burger that gets a little, well, over the top. We're kicking things off with the foundation. It's Burger 101, a back-to-basics masterclass that'll show you how to build the ultimate burger, literally from the ground up. Now, if you know me, you know this. I've got a ritual. Every time I visit a new city, I have to find their best burger. I'm a man on a mission here, my friends. Whether it's H&F Burger in Atlanta, Matt's Bar in Minneapolis, the Neon Pig in Oxford, Mississippi, or family favorite, Little Jack's Tavern in Charleston, South Carolina, I've tasted my way across the country one cheeseburger at a time. And today's recipe is inspired by all of those bites and by one man who knew how to kick back and enjoy a good burger by the beach. Jimmy Buffett. In honor of his iconic Cheeseburger in Paradise, and since Memorial Day marks the unofficial start of summer, we're celebrating by combining a custom beef blend using chuck, brisket, and short rib, a homemade Heinz 57 style sauce that brings the tang and the sweet heat, and because no burger is complete without a side, we're making the best French fried potatoes you've ever had. Hand cut, double fried, crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. So how to get a homemade fry that is going to be absolutely perfect? You need some tools. You need a mandolin, because if you have a mandolin, it's going to help you achieve the absolute perfect cut of a fry that gets you a matchstick like this. So you're saying to yourself, Jeff, that looks great. You got that out of the bag. No, I didn't. Here's how you're going to be able to get it just the same way. Always think about safety first, folks. When they give you your mandolin, and you might be buying this online and they have the glove with it, don't throw it away and say, oh, I'm never going to use it. You always have the glove, okay? You have to have the glove. You always want to make sure that you have your guard as well. This is about safety. This is a razor sharp tool right here, and it could do a lot of damage. And trust me, I've been in that situation. It has happened before. You don't want to do it. You don't need to be a hero. You just need to make great food. So what you want to be able to do is always have control of what your item is going to be. In this case, I've got a beautiful Idaho russet potato. I like the skin on for it there. It's going to have a nice little bit of color, some crunch, but also this potato takes that oil with a double fry so well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go into my mandolin here, and I'm just going to have my palm hold it off the top of it for just the first couple slices here before I have to kind of come into using my guard here. Again, I've got control at the top of it to go through. I've got it cut right here to about 1/4 of an inch, and I know that because I've got my setting for it, but what I want to make sure is that it's going to be able to have a nice cut when I do a slice. So I've got the first couple slices in, and I want to show you how to be safe as well. So I've got my guard here, and all I'm going to do here is just make sure that the prongs go in, and there's little pins that hold it in place, and all you have to do is just rock it back. Let the blade do the work for you, okay? And as you can see, don't be a hero. Sometimes it might get stuck. That's okay. Pull it back. Pull it back. You never want to kind of push it through, because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to get cut. You don't need this, okay? We've got enough already on this side here. Beautiful 1/4 of an inch slices that now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take them right here into the middle. I've got a Santoku knife. I'm gonna stack them. So that way then I can get beautiful matchstick slices here. And all I'm gonna just do is just come right down the top to the bottom of my potato, because look, that's a perfect matchstick. It's an absolute perfect matchstick. This is absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna take these slices here. I'm gonna throw them in some water with the ones that I've already done before. And what I wanna do next with this is I want these to soak. These need to soak for at least 30 minutes, and that's going to release so much of that excess starch that's gonna make for a beautiful, fluffy French fry. And all that's going to be is just a little bit of some cold water, and then we're gonna salt it once it comes out of the fry. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. So while these do their thing for about 30 minutes here, let's make some sauce for this one here. That's the part of Cheeseburger Paradise that's the best part. It's Heinz 57. So We're going to start off with your own version that you can make at home. You can batch, you can bottle, you can have it labeled. It's perfect anytime you want to bring it out when you want guests to come over and try something a little different. I have a base here of ketchup. That's going to be the foundation. I'm going to add just a little bit of some Dijon mustard. I'm going to add just a little Worcestershire sauce. We got a little bit of some honey. A little vinegar here. A little tomato paste. I like to add just a little dash of some hot sauce. I like it to be a little bit more of that flavor of heat that's happening behind it. Also, that vinegar is really, really nice. And we're going to just add a few dry ingredients here. A little bit of some paprika and a little garlic powder. We're going to just whisk this together. And let's take a little bit of a taste here. Better than the stuff you can get on the shelf right there. That is absolutely out of this world fantastic. Don't forget, recipes for this sauce, how to make the best homemade French fries, and the burger are all at dinnerdeas.com. Just open your phone's camera like you're taking a photo of the screen, and when the black and white box is in frame and in focus, a link will pop up. Just tap it, and boom, you, my friend, are in burger heaven. We got to take a quick break, but when we come back, how to fix yourself the finest French fries this side of, well, France. And meet the meat I use for my ultimate burger ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz with ideas for dinner, so long as dinner means a big, beautiful burger. For this week anyways, because it's our first ever burger week, and I'm sharing a recipe that celebrates the best of the best burgers I've traveled and tried on my excursions across the country. My cheeseburger in paradise. Before the break, we started on our side and sauce, using a mandolin on the task it was made for. Well, maybe making the absolute perfect French fries? Yeah. Then soaking them in water to get any excess starch out. Then I gave ketchup a much needed kick, combining with Dijon mustard, Worcestershire sauce, vinegar, honey, tomato paste, paprika, hot sauce, and garlic powder to take it to my own way of enjoying a Heinz 57 sauce. Now, we've got our fries here that have been soaking in the water here. And you might say to yourself, wow, that was clear water when Jeff started, and it looks a little bit cloudy now. You want that. That is all of that starch. It's going to change a little bit in color. Don't be afraid. We're going to just take this over here, and I'm just going to drain them into a colander. Now, if you didn't soak them, you just have a starchy potato that's not going to allow for the fluffiness that's happening inside. See all that starch right over here? That's everything. That's what you're trying to get rid of. So we're going to just take these back over here. Give them a nice little shake. Since these are going to go into oil, we want to try to get as much of that water out as possible. And I like using a colander here to be able to help drain that piece for me. But I also like to pat dry them as well. Now, we're going to do 2 batches to make our French fries. The first one's going to be hovering about that 300 degrees. This is what's going to take it to be a nice little softness in the paleness before it gets that nice crunch. This is going to make that light, fluffy mashed potato piece to it. Now, because I say it's about that 300, these were in water, so this is going to cool down my temperature of my oil. That's okay, but I want to keep the oil as close to that 300 as possible. I also don't want to dump them all in at one time. So I'm just going to take their first little bath here. And I can see that oil starting to come down a little bit as I'm doing this. And it's important not to throw everything all at once, so that way then it can shock that oil too much into a colder temperature than you really need. So we're going to do these in these batches here, and I can already see it starting to come down right to about where I want them to be. To taste perfection and never go back to soggy drive-through fries, grab my recipe for these and the burger I'm about to show you at dinnerdeas.com. Use your phone, scan the QR code, and you can see it all for yourself. While these get their first hit inside the oil, let's talk about what makes a burger great. It's the blend. Sure, the toppings and the sides matter, the bun matters, but the heart of a truly great burger is in what's in the patty. But not all ground beef is created equal. A good burger starts with a good blend. So that means you need to have flavor, fat, and texture working together to give you that juicy, beefy bite every single time. And today, we're not reaching for a prepackaged pound of ground beef. We're using our own way of doing it our own style, which is with the KitchenAid stand mixer. Now, you've probably used yours for baking cookies or whipping up frosting, but with a grinder attachment, it turns into a total game changer for savory dishes too. They start about $40 for an off-brand attachment, and let me tell you, my friends, it's perfect for making burgers. So let's break down the cuts that we're using. Now, I've got 3 types of meat here that when combined make what I believe is the ultimate burger blend. Is it the cheapest or the quickest? No, but if you want to indulge you and your guests for a special occasion, this is how to do it. And when you compare the prices of burgers in sit-down restaurants these days, the math isn't that bad. So let's get into what's going to make this burger blend come alive. We've got chuck. Now, this is the base. The chuck is affordable, it's beefy, it's got the ideal fat ratio, it's about 80-20, and it gives that burger that classic flavor and that juicy bite. Now, here's where we start really having more fun with this, because we got short rib right here in the middle. Now, this one's the indulgent cut. Short rib brings bold, meaty flavor and a beautiful marbling that gives your burger a steak-like quality. It's that little luxury that takes the burger from good to absolutely unforgettable. But not to be outdone is the last one, and this one kind of rounds out the trifecta of the best burger blend. It's brisket. Brisket adds richness. It's got a deep, slightly sweet flavor. It's the connective tissue right there that helps melt down during the cooking, adding the tenderness and the body to the patty. So when you combine all of these and you grind them together using this mixer's attachment, you get a blend that's just the right balance of lean and fat, flavor, and structure. It's going to cook absolutely beautifully. It's going to hold together without any fillers. It's going to deliver that sizzle crust on the outside with a juicy center. We all know we want that when it comes to a burger. So let's go ahead and run this through the grinder, shape some patties, and maybe we'll get some ready for that sizzle in a little bit. Now, all I'm going to do here is I've got my KitchenAid grinder already on and moving here. I've got it right here at about a 4. And it doesn't matter what starting point you go. It's all going to come together and when you make that blend together. So we can just take a little bit of everything all in. And to help feed it through, we're just going to push it through. As the grinder is going to do all the work for us. Well, I get to grinding, and no using that phrase out of context on YouTube, please. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, I'll be making all this into the patty perfection that this burger deserves. Ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. It's Burger Week. Every day this week, I'm sharing a different recipe from my favorite food group. And starting it off right with the ultimate patty, making my custom cheeseburger in paradise. Before the break, I heated the oil for the first cook of my homemade French fries, cooking in batches until they were soft but still pale, while I got the cuts of meat prepped for the patties, using a grinder attachment on the KitchenAid to make my own burger blend of chuck, brisket, and short rib, and finish that up during the break. Now, we pulled these fries out, and these are exactly what we want. This color here is pale, they're soft, they're soggy, and that's okay. We want to let these cool for a little bit here, because what's going to happen is that they've got this beautiful, soft mashed potato consistency in the inside. That second fry at 375 is going to lock it all in. It's going to create that crunch factor around it. Let's finish up our patties over here. And this is exactly what you want to see over here. You see a little bit of the speckling of fat inside there? That's absolutely fantastic. We just got a little bit more to go. Now we're going to just throw right in and get those last few pieces in. But the color is absolutely vibrant. And that's how you know that it's going to be as fresh, beefy, meaty flavor. You don't have it sitting out at the butcher counter. I want this one right here. That fat right there, that's the one I'm going with. And that's it. I'll get all that last bit. And this is a part where it's just like when you think that you're kind of done with thinking it's ready, just keep it at that same speed. You don't want to overforce it. I've had it at a 4 the entire time, and I just let the grinder do its work. Because if you go too fast, it's not going to process right. It's going to actually start spreading out from behind the seals of everything, and it's not really going to do the grind. Just let it do its thing, and it's going to be absolutely worth it in the end. Now we have this beautiful mix here that just brought everything together. And that fat is speckled, as I say, and looking inside everywhere. So all I'm going to do is just kind of roughly bring it together with just my fingertips here, just so I can make sure that as I was doing this in batches, I'm not just getting the bottom of just the brisket or the top of just the chuck, but it kind of all comes together a little bit. And then what I want to do here is just form a nice patty. I'm going to start with about a baseball here and just add a little bit more. And I don't want to really truly mash it all together, because what I really want to do is make sure that it's going to have that nice loose consistency as well. Sometimes when you make it too firm, it just becomes not a beautiful burger that you want. So we're just going to take a few patties over here. Now these are about, I'd say about 8 ounces that I've been going for, and I'm eyeballing, but because I like burgers so much, they're probably my favorite food, and everywhere I go, I have to have one. I kind of know exactly what I need. This one's just a little bit too big here. Let me get one more here. And that fat's going to help render it out as well. So you might start off with about an 8-ounce patty. And I like to do this one because it's a single burger. Now, if I was doing a smash burger, I'd go thinner, and I would have a 2 patty on that one. Are you going to really have 16 ounces worth of beef? I don't think so. So at that part, you're maybe about 4 ounces to get you back up to that 8. So here's really where you kind of start with when you're doing a nice single cheeseburger like we're doing. So we got our burger patties perfectly done up here. We've got a nice hot pan here going with just a little bit of a high smoke point oil. Got grape seed oil. We're just going to hit inside our pan here. Give it a nice little coat. And the absolute most beautiful song that a kitchen can sing to you is that nice little bit of our crust here forming. We're going to hit it with just a little bit of some salt. We're going to hit it with just a little bit of some pepper. And we're going to look at this for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. I'm not going to truly go in and give it that smash. I do not want to do that. But all I want to do is just make a nice little push down. And it's important that you do this because you had something that was a ball in shape, but now what do you have? You have the beef actually touching and getting more surface area of that cast iron to give you that beautiful sear. And to treat your taste buds to the best burger that you'll ever make, grab my recipe at dinnerdeas.com or just scan the QR code in the corner of the screen to find us with your phone. Now, we've had this oil rise up to where we need it to be, 375. This is now going to lock in all of that beautiful fluffiness of our potato to give us this beautiful crust that we're needing and wanting out of it. So we're just going to drop them back in. And as you can see, these are soggy, but they won't be for long. This is going to take about 3 minutes here to get that beautiful golden brown delicious that we here in the Dinner Deas kitchen absolutely love, and you will too. The fries are frying. The patties, well, they're pattying. So we're taking a break. When we come back, it's food o'clock somewhere as I finish up my cheeseburger in paradise. Ahead on Dinner Deas. Welcome back to Dinner Deas, bringing you all burgers all week long as we present a parade of the perfect patties, no matter what type you want to taste. Today, we're starting off with the best in beef as I bring you my cheeseburger in paradise. Before the break, I finished up grinding chuck, brisket, and short ribs for the burgers, and that was it. No fillers, nothing else needed to make the perfect patty, which I seared for about 3 minutes on each side while I got our fries reacquainted with our oil for the second frying to bring the all-important crispiness. Then toss them with just a little salt as soon as they were done because that oil is the glue. Now, let's get some cheese on top of these burgers here. Now, in the spirit of the song, Jimmy said it's got to be Munster. So we got just a little bit of some Munster going on top of that right here. A lid to just kind of lock in some of that moisture for that steam while we can start assembling this burger here. We've got our 57 sauce that we're just going to hit on the bottom. That is absolutely going to be zesty and sweet. A little bit of some heat behind it. Out of this world fantastic. We're going to hit it with just a little bit of some lettuce. We got some tomatoes. We got just a nice little bit of some onion on top of that. And our burgers with that nice little bit of some melted cheese right on top like so. For it all to fit right on there. Well, it looks so good. Not to be outdone though. We're going to finish it with just a little bit of some fries. And look at that. Golden brown. Nice little bit of some parsley on top of those fries to bring that nicely together. And a fun burger that just screams summertime. There it is, my friends. Cheeseburger in paradise. A tasty tribute to the late, great Jimmy Buffett. Heaven on earth with its onion slice. But the only thing missing the big kosher pickle and that cold draft beer. And you, my friends. But you can at least make this for yourself by grabbing the recipe at dinnerdeas.com or just scan the QR code to find us. And if you make it, send us a photo. I'm Jeff Philbin. See you next time with more ideas for dinner, or as we call them, Dinner Dias.